Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream today. U.S. market is looking red, really red, but Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is actually going up, and that's because the Bitcoin bears are getting exhausted. And there's one major thing that happened today that's driving Bitcoin higher. So let's talk about these events and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world today. Let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. The market bell is about to ring any second now, and there you go. Best bell in the industry, and it's still working, going strong. You can see today is a pretty red day. Pretty red day. Why is that? Well, take a look at this. Pressure from Moody's downgrade. And you know what? That downgrade is exactly what's helping Bitcoin today. You know, many people have argued, oh, Bitcoin has decoupled from markets. You know, NASDAQ has been doing well. Why hasn't Bitcoin been doing well, right? You know, decoupling goes both ways. So today's looking like a pretty bad day overall, but Bitcoin is going higher. So that's good, right? Why? Well, Moody's downgrades U.S. banks, warns of possible cuts to others. Basically, you know how the U.S. credit rating was downgraded recently? Now Moody's is doing it to many, many, many mid and small banks, including Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Bancorp, State Street, Trust Financial, and even lenders like Capital One, Citizen Financial, Fifth Third Bank. Basically, they don't like the banks. They don't trust the banks. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Because of high interest rates, you got to figure these mid to small tier banks, they're just not doing well. They can't make as much money as before because people are not taking out as many loans as before. Mortgages are sky high. Car loans are sky high. Equity loans are sky high. Everything is sky high right now. So obviously these guys are kind of struggling. The big banks still churning out a healthy profit, but the smaller ones are not. So that's why they are being downgraded right now. And that's the thing. You know, whenever there's bank weakness and bank failures and bank downgrades, it actually helps Bitcoin. So this narrative of Bitcoin being a store of value is actually coming true right before our eyes. Earlier this year, Bitcoin actually got a big boost when First Republic and was the few other banks that were collapsing, right? Bitcoin got a boost, and now we're seeing the same thing, right? So that's actually quite awesome. A lot of people have been talking about Bitcoin being a store of value for many, many years. We haven't really seen it take place until basically this year, 2023. This is really the first year when we've heard of bank weakness leading to Bitcoin's rise, right? And the funny thing is, this is the very reason why Bitcoin was created, because of bank failures and weakness and distrust in banks. Back in 2009, right? When everything went under and everything was bailed out, that's when Bitcoin was created. So that's the reason why Bitcoin is up, I believe, because of this, right? It's not up all the way to the moon yet, but the bears are getting exhausted. There's just not much left in the tank for the bears to keep Bitcoin down. It's just a matter of time we break out. Now, for the rest of the market, like I said, it's looking red today. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I love to agree with Jim Cramer, but basically whatever he says, the opposite does better. So I don't know. I don't know how to take that. But Jim Cramer sees more positives than negatives for the market ahead, citing economic growth with little inflation. I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. Inflation is coming down, 3%, right? But we will get another big inflation reading this Thursday. Now, it's anticipated that CPI will actually go flip upwards from 3 to like 3.3%, we'll see if that comes true. And if so, is that already priced in, or will that cause a market crash? Or maybe we get a surprise. We don't get that bump up. We continue to go down. We go from 3 to 2.5 or something, or 2.8. So then that'll put us closer to that 2% that Powell keeps talking about. But it is true, our inflation rate is going down, and the economy is still strong. We're still adding jobs. Unemployment is still low, right? So good economic growth. GDP, although down, it's still not in the negative. It's still positive. So if you put all these things together, this is great. This is great. But, you know, again, whenever Jim Cramer makes a call, usually the opposite does better. So I'm hoping this is one of those cases where it's not true, where he, you know, he's declaring everything's good, and then we go sour. I'm really hoping that's not the case, but we will see this Thursday when the inflation report comes out, whether or not inflation is still heading down or back up or still stagnant. We will see. We will see. Now, something else I saw this morning that's quite interesting is this. Presidential elections. Now, I have never, ever correlated the presidential elections with the 4-year cycle previously, but now it's starting to become apparent. If you look at this, every time there's an election, you can see Bitcoin starts doing better, right? It starts going higher. And many people have said the same thing about just markets in general, how whenever there's election, markets tend to rally or whatever, right? But if you look at it, there is definitely a correlation. And the correlation is it happens to fall upon the years when Bitcoin has a halving event. So, you know, Bitcoin has a halving event every 4 years. Last time I had a halving event was 2020. Okay, and that was when Bitcoin was still around 15,000. And then it shortly went up to 70,000, and then it happened again in 2016 when Bitcoin's at 710, and 2012 when Bitcoin's at 11, right? So next year is going to be a crazy, crazy year. Okay, not only are we having a new election, but we're having the 4-year cycle, right? The next halving event is coming. We're also having spot Bitcoin ETFs that are being approved, right? And we're going to get rate cuts from Powell, right? So next year is going to be absolutely wild if you think about it. There will be so many things, bullish things, that are going to be happening in 2024. It's going to be quite crazy if you think about it, right? So I just thought that was kind of interesting, very interesting. You know, outside of this, of course, what about the bears? You know what? The bears definitely are getting exhausted. What else? You know, what else can the bears do at this point? Okay. Everything I've been mentioning about Bitcoin has been so positive, right? And every day we get a new metric. Like here, 69% of circulating Bitcoin has been inactive for a year. Long-term holders keep on holding, right? So what can the bears do? There's nothing they could do to scare the long-term holders. Only the short-term retail investors that have come in that doesn't quite understand, yes, they may be fudded out. But for everyone else, we know that this is the only asset that we should be holding. I take that, not only, but there's outside of Bitcoin, there's a lot of crypto, but still, this is the asset class to be holding, right? And we're seeing right now store value being proven right in front of our eyes. And over a long haul, it's also proven that Bitcoin is the best hedge against inflation because nothing has outperformed it, right? That's why so many people are holding. Long-term holders hit 75%. Holders that have hit at least 1 year, basically 69%. And all the fundamentals and technicals and everything, signals and on-chain metrics, all point to better days coming, right? So right now, again, I've made this statement. could be boring, could be stagnant, but this is all leading up to something fantastic, especially in 2024. I just mentioned we have a lot of things happening, very bullish things happening in 2024. But even before then, right, it's just a matter of time. We still got 4 months left for this year, and there will be many, many things coming. But right now, I mean, just look at it. It's a matter of supply and demand keeps going up and supply keeps going down. It's really that simple, right? And this year, still anticipated we can hit as high as 48,000, maybe even higher than that. Some people think we could hit 60,000 or even break into a new high by the end of this year. Some people are calling 100,000 by the end of the year, right? But if we're following previous patterns of hitting this Fibonacci level of 61.8%, well, Bitcoin should hit around 48,000, right? Sometime soon, maybe before the end of the year. And then afterwards, we'll go break through 69,000, and we will continue higher. 100, 150, 200,000, I don't know. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be looking something like this. So right now, as it's quiet and stagnant, and you know what? That's okay. It's accumulation stage, right? But there's really nothing for the bears to say. I mean, there's nothing the bears can say that can scare out the long-term holders who keep on increasing a number and keep on DCAing. I mean, it's really that simple, right? The bears can no longer do anything. They are getting exhausted. They're getting depressed, and they will be shorted or liquidated, I should say, in the future. So that's my take. Now, outside of Bitcoin, there's just a few other exchange news. Actually, a lot of exchange news. Huobi recently, there's a lot of FUD about Huobi. And I've always told you guys this. Anything that Justin Sun touches, you want to get far, far, far away from. Huobi was one of the bigger, well-known, I don't know if it was tier 1, maybe tier 2 exchange. But recently, there's a lot of talks about a lot of executives either leaving or being arrested. So there's a large number of outflow, okay, of all coins from Huobi. Stable coins and ETH-based coins are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So in a desperate attempt, it seems like Justin is trying to save it. So some anonymous person who was one of the largest TRX holders on the planet, guess who, okay, deposit 200 million of USDT and 9 million Ether into Huobi to try to save it, to try to prop it up, right? Huobi says they don't know who it's from. Although this person, again, is one of the largest holders of Tron on the planet. So you do the math. Who else can it be, right? But yeah, it doesn't, I don't know if Huobi's going to make it. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but ever since Justin bought it, I'm like, I'm out. Anything he touches is no good. So there's that. Also, Coinbase buys back partially $1 billion bonds at a premium. Coinbase obviously has been doing very well ever since the XRP, security dismissal, I guess. Coinbase has been skyrocketing, and so many institutions are depending on Coinbase for their spot Bitcoin ETFs, right? So that's probably the reason why they're doing it. They're flush with money right now, so that's good. Also, you have a couple other exchanges, blockchain.com and crypto.com, that has payment license in Singapore. So both of these guys are expanding out. Again, every single exchange that gets more approval around the world, the better it is overall, right? This next, every single cycle, not only does the price get higher, but we also have more ways to enter the space. So the FOMO gets bigger and bigger every single time. So this next parabolic run is going to be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy and insane. And Bitstamp also raising funds for European derivative, Asian expansion. These guys are not sitting idle. Basically, all these changes expanding and blowing up everywhere and getting ready for the next leg up, for the next FOMO run that will be coming starting in 2024, right? 2024, I'm really, 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 really bullish about 2024. But in the meantime, 2023, still a lot of great things happening. So got 4 months left in the year, and we'll see. Today, U.S. market is not doing good. Not doing good at all. But crypto market is up, so that's good. We're going the opposite of the U.S. market today. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's see what I've missed in the chat. William says, I'm loading up on 2 more BTC if we drop to 25K. That's a good plan, although I don't think that's going to happen. Does AMP and Cody have a chance following the XRP lawsuit decision? Yes. Yes, AMP has been suppressed for a long time. So maybe they're non-security now. And same thing with Cody. We aren't agreeing with Kramer. He's agreeing with us, basically. Maybe Kramer watches me. Let's see here. Let's go down. Someone says, I don't trust Justin Sun. That's true. Just lost thousands. Scrappy says, just lost thousands on Proterra filing bankruptcy. Glass a small portion of my portfolio. Super bullish on crypto now. I don't even know Proterra. Are they a mining company? Didn't hear about that. It sucks that you lost money, but I'm glad you are still super bullish on crypto. Hello from Denmark. Gods Unchained is almost done developing. That's good. I like how the new Toyota Tacoma is better than Land Cruiser. I mean, for me personally, I think that the new Tacoma looks better. The new Land Cruiser, they're going to ruin the name. It's no longer a Land Cruiser. It's just another SUV. I don't particularly like the looks of it. So we'll see how good it is. But yeah, Toyota and Lexus, they're kind of going nuts. Coffee tastes the best with me. I'm glad to hear that. Do I own a Elron, or what is it, Multiverse X or something now? No, I do not. Not particularly bullish on them. Do I like the Ford Maverick? I do. I drove one and it was really nice. The Maverick ST, I thought it was a really nice little truck, but I hear you can't get them. It's impossible to get Mavericks. I also heard that Ford is thinking that going so heavy into EVs is a mistake. They actually want to concentrate more on hybrids now, kind of like what Toyota is doing. So Toyota is actually doing, coming out with nonstop hybrids for all their cars. And that's kind of like what Ford wants to do now, because Ford is now realizing that all this time they've been copying Tesla and it has not been working. They're losing billions by doing so. It's kind of funny how they go change their strategy. Anything about Pepe? There's nothing to look forward to with Pepe, man. Pepe either pumps or it doesn't. That's really it. They're not working on anything. So if it pumps, great. If they dump, not so great. But there's nothing going for it. They're not building like any other project. Know that about memes. They're not building. They're just there. That's it. What's your take on SEC and Gary rearing their ugly head, declaring 50 coins security? So damn annoying, exhausting. Where did you hear that from? I know they listed 20-something, by suing the exchanges, but did they recently declare another 50? We'll see. The thing is, they're declaring, but they're not suing those particular projects, right? That would be interesting if they actually sue them all and declare that they are securities. But if they simply just list it out, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually factual, right? This lawsuit against Coinbase will really determine it. Because if they dismiss this lawsuit, and part of the reason why SEC said it, no, not partially, the reason why SEC sued Coinbase is because they declare like 20-something of their coins are securities, and they are listing unregistered securities, right? But if that lawsuit gets dismissed, basically the SEC has they lose their power to declare whatever is a security automatically without due process, basically, right? They're doing this without due process. They just declare it. It's like you're guilty without, you're just guilty without due process. So I don't know. Judo. EV are going belly up minus Tesla. Yeah, Tesla is the only one that's profitable with EVs. Everyone else is losing a ton of money by trying to copy Tesla. So now they're realizing. I think that's why maybe Toyota has not gone full EV yet, because they realize that's not the right strategy. We got to go hybrids. And some of the hybrids from Toyotas now are really good. Really good. Very seamless. Not like the clunky hybrids of the past. So that may be the right direction for legacy manufacturers. Is Atom changing his token economics? Last I've heard, no, but they should, because Cosmos, their token economics isn't the greatest because there's not a whole lot of usage for Atom, but they added this chain security sharing, which allows new chains to share the consensus of the base layer. I know there's a lot of L1s being built within Cosmos. They're like L1 dApps, DeFi dApps mostly, but there's not a whole lot of usage for Atom, right? So I think they do need to actually change it up a little bit or add more use case for Atom. Coinbase is still up. Still up despite the fact that the market is down. But I thought Coinbase must have fallen because they were just like at 100 not too long ago. Yeah, they hit 110 2 weeks ago. So now they have fallen. Could be a good buying opportunity again. Tesla, speaking of Tesla, they're down to 245. Ouch. They were as high as 293. That's a big drop right there. Again, about 2 weeks ago. Jolamas, I know you don't like PayPal, but I think you're being too negative about stablecoin news. There's a well-known brand with a real world use case for crypto that brings new users to the space. Those are true, but you can't trust PayPal. You can't. PayPal is notorious for locking people's accounts and withholding their money and providing horrible customer service and being very centralized. So my mind is not going to change about that. It's like having a horrible ex and now, you have to get over that. I don't know. I've never really had that situation, but it'd be the same thing. I had a horrible experience and many people also did. You can't trust just because someone's trying to hide their bad intentions with something good or something. Not bad intentions. You can't. Yeah, it's like you put makeup on a pig. It's still a pig, right? That's PayPal's new stablecoin. It's not a crypto. It's just a very centralized digital currency that just gives him more control. That's all it is. It's not going to be good for the crypto industry at all. Supreme is like a horrible ex that's smoking hot. I guess, yes. That's probably a better analogy right there. Jeff says PayPal is the worst company I ever interacted with. Thoughts on Sol? They actually had 100% uptime this year. I don't know if I believe that, but okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. There's really nothing to say about Sol at this point. They don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of transactions, but it's not just that. Most chains don't have a lot of transactions. Sol doesn't have a lot of games. They're dependent on NFT volume, basically. They don't have a lot of DeFi either. So I'm sure that it'll pick up again. And they're still in the top 10, I believe. Yeah. But, a lot of these chains are kind of like ghost chains. They don't have any real transactional volume. So that's why they're paying big grants for like big games to come aboard, because games traditionally have a lot of volume. But there's not a lot of DeFi or TVL or any of the traditional things on Solana. So it is what it is. I mean, that's just how it is. People are still building. William Wonder. I've been with PayPal for 20 years, hold 70K in crypto, and there are no problems. Well, the saying, how the saying goes, right? I don't even know which saying I'm talking about, but just because it hasn't happened yet, and I'm not hoping it does, doesn't mean it won't. And if it does happen to you, and if they do lock up your account and then take your crypto away, you're going to regret it. Right? So, first of all, regardless if it's PayPal or not, you should be self-custody that 70K. I don't know, why you wouldn't want to do that, why you wouldn't want to hold your own crypto so that no one could take it away from you. So that's number one. And number two is maybe you haven't been a seller and you haven't been using PayPal as a merchant, is if you had within the last 20 years, you wouldn't have the same kind of opinion. When does the CPI reading come out? This Thursday. This Thursday. Jobless claims also comes out this Thursday. And then you have another PPI inflation on Friday and consumer sentiment. But the CPI one will be big. It will be pretty big. We'll only have to wait 2 more days for that. $355 spider or $360 spider? You know what? In my opinion, I think $355 spider is a timeless look. I love that look. But the reason why no one buys a $355 is because it's horrendously difficult to work on, and they're very prone to catch on fire. Okay, all the Ferrari fires you hear of is normally with a $355. And to do a belt change, you have to take out the entire engine. So it's extremely expensive, and people are fearful of driving $355. That's why the $360 is so much better. $360 also has a timeless shape. It's more in line with the current Ferraris, but of course it's still dated now. But the sound in a $360 is one of the best. People either argue $355 or $360 have the best sound. I had a $360. I think it sounds awesome. If you could get a $360 spider, gated, 6-speed gated manual, that would be one of the most perfect cars. Right? I had the F1, which wasn't really good in the $360. But if you could get a manual, which is expensive, but if you get one, that would be a really nice car to have. Do you like the new Ford Mustang Dark Horse? I don't get very excited about Ford Mustangs. It looks fine, but I've driven many. I don't know, they're just not that impressive. So, I don't know. I have not driven like the GT500 or the 350. So, maybe I would think differently if I test drove one of those. But I've driven many GTs and Roush and, all these variants, and I wasn't very impressed with any of them. PayPal is great to buy something, and there's an issue. They have gotten refunded me a couple times. No idea why you would use them as a wallet, though. PayPal is geared for buyers. That's why they're as big as they are. Okay? The buyer protection program is 100% geared towards buyers. So as a seller, you get screwed. You get screwed. As a seller, a PayPal buyer could have bought something 6 months ago and then declare that, oh, something's broken, or they changed their mind, or something else. And guess what? As a seller, you're screwed. You have to refund them. Even though you know that they've been using the product for 6 months and they just simply want a refund. Okay? So again, people that don't think there's anything wrong with PayPal are ones that have never been on the other side as a seller. If you've been a seller, then you know how horrible they are. Aaron, I have no opinion on them. See, Alan knows what's up. Can confirm had PayPal freeze our account after buyer opened a chargeback for a sales transaction, locking up all the funds above and beyond the chargeback amount until the case resolved. Yes. And sometimes the case takes forever to resolve. Again, it is what it is. All right. Well, that's pretty much. Let's conclude. You know, Bitcoin is doing better today. It was doing a little bit better, pulled back a little bit. Let's see how that day ends. But today, the U.S. market is looking horrible. But because of this, because Moody downgrading U.S. banks, causing the U.S. market to go down, is actually having an inverse effect on Bitcoin and crypto overall. So that's good. That's good. But overall, guys, I think you guys know the bears are exhausted. There's just nothing else they can do or say at this point. Long-term holders continue to hodl and continue to buy. And 2024 is going to be an absolutely fantastic year, right? It's going to be a crazy, crazy year. So hang in there. Better days are coming. And I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.